So, David, just to illustrate your earlier question about the comments we were making about new technology and my comment about reflecting back on what may have already been tried and tested. The cooling system in this room is a humidified forced-air cooling system, and the technology has been around for decades. There has been over quite a number of years a move with leafy salads to vacuum cooling. And when we were establishing this operation and we were trying to make a decision on what would be the best fit for this operation in terms of cooling, we probably didn't take the conventional route of putting vacuum cooling in. And we went back to what is an older technology, and the reason for that is we looked at what is happening around the world. We looked at particularly what's happened recently in Europe, more recently in Europe, and we thought about, well, what do we really need, and what are the investment considerations? And so, with vacuum cooling, you've got relatively high capital cost, you've got quite high maintenance required, and you still have to then have a facility in which to put the cooled product. With this system, we've got a lower capital investment. We already have the room, so the product is already in situ when it's being cooled, but we can still achieve fairly rapid cooling. So we're still chilling product from mid 20 degrees centigrade to below 4 in time periods of anything from 20 to 45 minutes, depending on the ambient temperature when the product comes in. I guess my point there is that it isn't necessarily, it's not necessarily the case to always go for what what's perceived to be the best. I think it's important to just reflect on what the needs are, and probably what I didn't mention there as well. There's vacuum cooling requires a reasonable level of management, because there can be challenges with dehydration of the product, whereas with humidified forced air, the air's more or less saturated already, so you don't get the dehydration of the product. And we did see that in Europe, particularly, a number of producers in this category are actually coming back to this forced air technology.
And do you think part of this is it's cost driven, really? So it's
not entirely.
Energy saving?
Yeah, that's certainly an element. I think from a product quality perspective as well, the ability to prolong the storage life of the product in a humidified environment, less risk. I think it's a combination of all those factors. Yeah.
And a sort of a correct fit for what you want to do here.
Yeah. I think vacuum cooling definitely still has still an advantage in certain situations. Really very good for dense product like iceberg lettuce, cos lettuce, where you can't easily get the airflow through the product. But not necessarily always the right fit in every situation.